Dara, Briain, and if I'm standing here, it means you're watching the post-nuclear apocalypse edition of Mock the Week. Please remain on this frequency and do not exit your safety zone. Watch instead this specially prepared show featuring unseen material, outtakes and some of our favourite bits from happier times. Stay calm, do not panic. I was really too serious.
I can't believe I'm on a butt booster seat again.
I thought that was just me. I thought they thought I had some sort of problem.
Who isn't
Have you just given one to the women and the minorities?
Yes.
Women, minorities and children.
Your category is world news, and the answer is 6. What is the question?
Is it, what do men in New Zealand think about every 10 seconds?
Is it, what was the number of the 6th person to own a telephone?
Is it how many calories were in the winning dish on North Korean MasterChef?
Is it the number of times my father has referred to this show as Mock of the Week today?
Man, I'm telling you, it is literally written behind me.
Yeah, I know.
And people go, oh, yeah, I know you. You're in Mock of the Week. Really? Read it. Read it, asshole. Read it from behind my face.
Isn't that your head looks like an O?
Two things. So you saying that firstly, the Dara has a large head thing again, right?
Did I say large? I was referring to the baldness.
Okay. But also that it would be Mock O the Week. Like you of all people. Et tu, Paddy.
Is it how many seconds would a giraffe last in a World War I trench?
Is it simply at what age does life start to go downhill?
Could somebody actually give me the correct answer?
I think this is a reference to North Korea, because this is the 6th nuclear test that they've done.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Nish Kumar. Yes, the question I was...
Not necessarily a missile, though. It's not really a missile. Not really a missile. This test wasn't a missile. This test was an underground detonation of a nuclear warhead. It wasn't on a missile.
It wasn't, but it may yet... Anyway, Ed. Noted.
Well, the way things are going, this could be the first ever episode of Mock the Week not to make it to Dave.
I would also like to commend Ed Gamble on his commitment to satire this week, because he appears to have had his hair cut exactly like Kim Jong-un.
Well, I didn't want to... Thank you. I don't want to jinx it, but I've got a rather important audition later.
The rules of being the lookalike on the show is you really got to do the whole pose. Have you got the picture?
What do you mean the whole pose?
In other news, why did Labour's plans for student debt come under scrutiny this week?
Because they were worked out by Diane Abbott.
How much would it take to clear all student?
100 billion.
You could buy 100 DUP for that. So much money.
It's 100 billion, but they don't have to start paying it off till they earn over £21,000 a year. So.
And even then, it's only £9 grand a year. I mean, like that would take them.
Just get a Wonga loan. I did that, and I'm fine for another 4 hours.
The guy who drafted the bill was the one who sort of come up and criticised it, didn't he? Or the guy that was part of making that...
Lord Adonis, who set up, yeah.
Is that an ironic name?
I think he can't possibly live up to that. I've never seen a picture of Lord Adonis. I never wish to see a picture of Lord Adonis because I want to imagine he is just oiled and glistening. Student loans. I'm sure I'll talk to you about student loans, but surely you'd like some tickets for the gun show.
He's a balding man in his 40s.
It's a great look.
You think that's a good
It's an
thing?
interesting company to shoot that one at.
Yes, let's mock that fool.
Did the report also reveal... Sorry, are we going back to the...
We can, yeah. Lovely of you to check.
Well, I'm very new here. I'm very new. How am I doing okay?
You're doing fine. It's very good.
Great.
Very polite.
Check in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nothing if not polite.
And also semi-formal dress wear. It's really... It's actually...
It's really quite disappointing when you look at the rest of you.
I went hospital abroad recently.
You were in a hospital abroad?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was there anyway. I was in America, and I shat myself in a steakhouse. And then the next morning I woke up, I couldn't hear out of one ear. Actually, Joe, what? The first part of that story is unrelated.
Still, it was good for context.
I couldn't hear out of one ear. I went in hospital. They said, you've got too much wax in your ears. And they were, like, flushing my ears out for hours. I was there in the fetal position, and they were all just, like, walking around me while I was getting my... And all the water just gushes out your ears. And they told me I had to wear a gown. You've got to wear a gown. And I was like, my ears are on my face. They're like, just trust us. So I took my top off, I wore a gown, but I kept my cords on, because I've got to stay on brand. Absolutely soaked my butt, all the water. And so it looked like I'd had a repeat of the night before. I don't know if you've ever shat yourself, but the shame doesn't leave your eyes for about 48 hours. So I'm walking out, and I look like I look physically like I've done it again, but my eyes are like, I did it. So I reckon healthcare's better over here.
That's the moral of that story. OK. What has she done about the next year's
She's cancelled it. And the Queen is furious because she's on a 0 hours contract.
She should riff the Queen's speech. Like, if she's angry it's been cancelled this year, she should just throw in loads of stuff that she wants. She just suddenly at the end goes, oh, and free Nando's for all Queens. Or just stuff that the government definitely can't do to screw them over. Like, just start going, oh, also, Freddo's will be 10p's again, and you can download orgasms.
But isn't that one of the things that they're trying to put in is
Freddo's being 10p? I don't get the Freddo. What is it? I'm sorry, there is a generational thing with the Freddo. Let it go with the Freddo.
What do you mean? What's the problem with the Freddo? What is Freddo? As a representative of young people, let me rap with you, Dara.
I'm just saying everyone's obsessed with the cost of Freddos.
Yeah, just because you come from a time where you could buy a house for 10p.
What is a Freddo?
It's like a chocolate bar with soft caramel inside it.
Kerry, it's basically their generation's finger of fudge.
Oh, right.
I do beg your pardon.
You know finger of fudge, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely, for years, thought they had pepper in. To the extent that when I ate them, I imagined I could taste pepper because the song always went, they're full of peppery goodness and very small and neat. And I misheard the word Cadbury as pepper and convinced myself they tasted of pepper.
I never
This is not just me, is it?
But I did go, that's false advertising, because this is just taste of yummy fudge. And there's no peppery goodness in it. And what is peppery goodness anyway? Yeah. And obviously, just you and me on that.
Yeah, I know.
It's like watching a conversation in a retirement village.
In other news, what creatures have been invading people's homes?
Well, spiders, but I don't know how topical. It's just this time every year.
Yeah, well, that makes it
Spiders
bang
appear.
on topical.
Yeah. It's as topical now as it was a year ago.
Yes, and you know what? Next year, it'll be topical again. We might do it again.
I feel every time we talk about Wimbledon.
We did spiders this time last year.
Yeah, but we did the ones who were outside last year. These are the ones, however, that crawl into the house now.
They crawl into your house to have sex, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
With the other spiders.
With other spiders, yeah, not me.
They're on Tinder, Ed. They're on Tinder. They've got 8 Tinders open. I don't even know which one is the good one.
How boring was Tinder be for spiders? I was like, hobbies, spinning webs, spinning webs.
You've got long legs. Looks like someone could be a leg man, though. If you're a spider in that situation, then very much be your...
I wish I had the guts to sneak into other people's houses every time I wanted to have sex. It saved me a fortune on laundry.
Don't get confused, though. I rolled up a newspaper to hit a black widow with. Next thing I knew, I wasn't allowed near Winnie Mandela.
Not giving you the points for that. In other news, what can now be taken in larger quantities on some flights from Italy?
Cocaine.
No.
Uh-oh.
It's pesto.
It is pesto, yeah. How much can you bring on, do you know?
500 mil, isn't it?
500 grams.
500 grams, yeah.
Yeah, or 2 jars of 250.
If you measure it in grams, then it isn't a liquid.
So I wasn't doing the maths. That's the actual rule. I wasn't going, oh, by the way, you can divide 500 by 2.
So it's normally 100 mil, isn't it, you can take through? But why have they done that, then?
They've done that because they sell pesto. And
it has to be proper Genoese pesto, though.
Genoese.
It's just through one airport, it's not through the whole of it?
It's just through the airport in the pesto really producing area of Italy.
Genoa.
Yeah, it's to encourage... Presumably, it's because every tourist comes to Genoa Airport and goes, oh, I bought some pesto. And they just go, I'm sorry, 100 weeks later. And you're left there with a choice of, well, screw you.
Darling, go and get me some penne.
I don't care about the dry.
You can't just allow it because loads of it's coming through.
Well, they have decided that they're allowing it.
You guys go, we're getting so much cocaine coming through this airport, let's just allow it. Do you know what I mean? It's such an admin nightmare.
This cocaine thing, right?
There's always people standing at the gate just being like...
Cocaine and pesto.
Wait, give me some pesto and give me the cocaine and just smash it in my mouth.
Darling, get me some penne.
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Prince of Wales.
You want me to try some of this, do you? Yes, Your Highness, it's locally butchered goat. Is it? Well, I'll have a little bit of that. I see that one over there doesn't seem to have any hairs coming out of it, so I'll just quick sniff, pop it in, as we used to say at boarding school. Can I have some, please, John? Of course you can, my darling. You can't resist a little sausage. You see what I'm saying? You get it, don't you? You see, you know what I'm saying. Can't resist a little sausage. Yes, we watch these two because they're terrible. Yeah. Anyway, that was absolutely disgusting. This is better. Yes, I'll have a pint of the Glenmorangie, please, and some porky scratchings and a tray of Jaeger bombs. If I'm honest, I'm in the mood for a bit of a sesh. So I'll just slip that down, and then we'll go. Shall we go into the beer garden? Yes. Camilla, could you bring the crisps? That'll be very good. I am absolutely hammered. I had far too much in the beer garden. I had about 19 in the beer. I don't want water. I do not want... Oh, that's not water. I don't really need it. I like the taste, and it numbs the pain of not being king. How are you getting on, Camilla? I've had 20. Oh, that's lovely. I'll take a crate, please. How many jars are there? I'm absolutely wankered. Haven't got any cheese. I need the cheese to soak up the alcohol. I'll just finish this one. I love you. I think I must have had about 25 now. What is this? What is that called? What is it? It's beer. That's what it is. I love beer. We were going to have one, and oh my God. Daylight. Oh, I need to find my car. Oh, it's over here. Officer, I seem to have lost my car.
This, by the way, sorry.
Photo of the year.
Is definitely photo of the year. This is, if not of all time. This, I just adore this. This is just a random 11-year-old who wrote in saying, I'd love to mow the White House lawn, and as part of it got Trump just shouting at him.
Yeah. Tighten up those borders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably going
He's shouting, and when you've done that, I've got a wall that needs building too.
I'm not surprised he's cross, though. The kid has mowed off his feet.
Baron, why are you mowing the lawn? We have people to do that. Honey, why is Baron... That's not our son. School in Maryland right now. Why is he mowing the lawn?
He's probably going, you are my last option to want to be White House press secretary.
Have you seen the finished job that the kid did?
Oh, well, I'm not impressed with the job so far. But no.
The finish, it makes sense. If you see it as an aerial shot, right. He mowed in, I voted for Hillary.
Moving on. What's been troublesome for fishermen in Alaska?
They found that killer whales have sort of formed gangs and are now stealing the fish that they're trying to harvest.
I'm scared of fish.
All fish?
All fish.
Any fish?
I can't. I once got dumped by a bloke because of my fish phobia, right? This is a bloke who was 33 and played Dungeons and Dragons, and he dumped me, right? Yeah, exactly.
Listen, get over it. I've told you. I met someone else.
He said it's because he'd always imagined living in a house where one entire wall was an aquarium, right? And I said, yeah, well, I've always imagined a sex life where I don't have to dress up as Frodo. I once went to my dentist, right, and they'd installed a fish tank in the surgery to calm people down, and I freaked out. So he ended up having to do my checkup in the waiting room.
I've got a worse dentist story than that. I was at the dentist, right? I was having a root canal. I had my head rocked back. I've got a slight phobia of dentists, right? So I had my head rocked back. He's drilling away or whatever, and then suddenly he just goes, oh, shit, shit, shit! And then, like, jumped back. And then I thought, I've got to look up. I sat up and looked. There was a pigeon.
In your mouth?
No, on his instrument tray. A pigeon. Had flown in to the room.
Were you just watching Finding Nemo?
I swear. And then he said to me, I've got a phobia of pigeons, can you deal with it? I said, mate... No,
I'll be a dentist, I can barely deal with you.
Here they go, go on for them! Go on! This is outrageous! It's absolutely disgusting that you've got pigeon in there! I'm serious! I'm serious with you! A perfect level of professionalism for the dentist. By the way, can anyone answer the question so we can actually put this in the show?
Technically, they're saying all the killer whales are stealing our fish. It's like, no, you're stealing their fish. That's what they've gone into their house and nicked all their shit from their freezer.
On the killer whale version of Mock the Week, the story is presented very differently.
Yes, that was funny when Ramesh went to the dentist.
Do you know what? I know you're doing orca, but I still find it offensive.
Anyway, meanwhile, what are governments cracking down and genuinely cracking down on this week?
People claiming insurance claims for getting food poisoning while on holiday.
Yes.
Because it's time for that to stop. Who was aware that we needed to draw a line in the sand on that one? Who woke up this morning and went, too many people are claiming falsely that they got sick when they were on holiday?
And it's rife, this claiming back for illness on holiday. And the reaction is 50% of people going, that's terrible, because that surely goes back onto our insurance costs. Yeah. And 50% of people going, you can do that. wasn't aware you could do that. That's because I had a bit of it. Remember, Brenda, that dicky tummy read about day 3, right? That'd be worth a few quid, wouldn't it?
Isn't all people doing it just for insurance, or is it just that classic British holidaymaker thing of drinking 15 pints and then blaming the fact that you're puking your ring on the prawn cocktail you had? You know?
Wait, did you just say puking your ring?
Puking your ring, yeah.
Irish colloquialism.
It's an Irish phrase.
Never heard that, puking your ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does it mean? Is it something to do with, like,
You
Lord of
puke
the
so
Rings?
hard, your own arsehole comes up and out through your mouth. Is the idea. Yeah, you bet.
It's a rich culture, the Irish
Far too rich if you're puking like that.
We are a witty and loquacious people. You should hear my father simply describe every fart he lets. He's just, you could knit that one, you know, that kind of thing. You won't get that out in a cold wash.
Oh, it's like Ulysses, isn't it, really?
It's amazing when the Irish Tourist Board used that as one of their things. It's not just the music and the mountains people come for.
It's big as bunghole.
There's eating and drinking in that one.
That one came out with his boots on.
Where a fart isn't just a fart. Ireland. In other news, what's going on here?
Oh, that's the new design for Freddo bars.
Is the middle one saying, Miss Piggy, I didn't expect you home so early.
Weirdly, I'd love to give you a lovely answer to this. It's just some frogs, is the
I think I've got it. Have the top 2 broken down and they're being towed home?
Are they frogs or toads?
I have every piece of information says frogs. Like, there is, you know. And I suppose I could have checked it, but
What is the difference?
Yes, this is a picture of Donald Trump and his wife Melania at the White House this week. Melania has finally joined her husband in the White House after spending the first 5 months of his pregnancy.
There's a story.
I wondered why his moods were so erratic.
I'm just going to say pregnancy again. I literally cannot see presidency and not go. Yes. This is a picture of Donald Trump, and isn't he glowing? Your secret safe with us, Donald? Sorry, yeah, OK, we'll do it again. Yes. This is a picture of folic acid guzzling Donald Trump. His third trimester of an unexpected pregnancy in a 70-year-old man. Some back pain, some nausea, but mainly sitting on that roundy chair. Oh, God, please, somebody get me some cake. Sorry. OK, we need it again.
Oh,
we need it again. Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah,
because Nish did it like a prick.
OK. Still on you.
Please, somebody deport him.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake.
Wow. OK. I will properly do it this time. Yes. This is a picture of Donald Trump and his wife Melania at the White House last week. Melania has finally joined her husband in the White House after spending the first 5 months of his presidency in New York. Come on, it's funnier that he's pregnant.
I'm talking to you, and I just looked at Milton the last. I said Milton, but no one ever talks to Milton. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's one of the side effects. No one ever does talk to Milton. That's made me sad now, thinking about that. What
Every
about
week,
me?
he's here all the time.
Who said that?
Sorry, we're having a conversation here, Milton. Yes, this is a picture of Donald Trump and his wife Melania at the White House. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over.
Come on, you heard the man and you know the drill! Yes, this is a picture of Donald Trump and his wife Melania at the White House this week. Melania has finally joined her husband in the White House. He's pretty pregnant. That's all I can see.
Russian culture, though, is very catchy. But hey, 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 hey,
OK.
Can I
No
say-
one comes out of that well. OK. The next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a kids' film.
Please, sir, can I have some more? 318 seats isn't enough for a majority.
Frozen, the story of 89-year-old Elsa who had her winter fuel allowance cut.
The young boy is trapped on board the airborne balloon house with an old man, who the tabloids have dubbed the Sky Pedo.
There's no way round it, Captain Sparrow. They spelled it wrong on the poster. So give me a curl, a crunch and a leg raise. This is Pilates of the Caribbean.
Hi, I'm Joy. This is sadness and anger and deep-rooted racism.
No! Mum, don't come in! I thought you were out for the day. I was just looking at it for science. Home Alone, the teenage years.
Wow, you sure look sleepy after eating all that chocolate, Scooby. Scooby?
Hello, is that the drug squad? Apparently it's Charlie at the chocolate factory.
It's a story about a supervillain Prime Minister who managed to shrink her own majority. Despicable Me.
Because of the curse, I have been turned into a candlestick, him into a clock, and if you look in that drawer, you will find Michael, who has been turned into a massive dildo.
Missile locked on target, sir. Unidentified aircraft destroyed, sir. Oh, bollocks, it was Mary Poppins.
I know that the circle of life applies to life in general. Your own personal life is more like a straight line which ends abruptly.
We've made some key upgrades to Wally. Basically, he can suck you off now.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things for a vet to say.
Welcome to the bakery.
Yeah. I have one. Oh, sorry, do I have a cockatoo?
I don't think there's any point in spaying a dog this ugly. No one is going to...
And here's the bill. I'm afraid we couldn't reattach it to your duck.
Well, there is a reason why he's floating on his side at the top of the tank. Gerbils can't swim.
I'm afraid your squirrel is dead. I'm surprised he lasted this long. He's got a nut allergy.
Now, if I could just get my hand up here. Oh, it's just like the cat never died.
You know what? I could fit you in today, but I warn you now, I've got one of those just put everything down hangovers.
Sure, I'm a vet. Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 tours of Bosnia. Let me see your cat. Your cat is dead. We move on!
Yeah, kind of a good news, bad news situation here. The bad news is your pig is dead, but the good news is I've whipped us up a fry-up.
I'm sorry to say your horse has back cancer. Oh, it's a camel, thank God for that.
So, neutered, muzzled or put down? The choice is yours, Mrs Rooney.
Do you know what? We never do this, but you've both been really good panels, and so we've got Freddos for you! Yay!